Okay, now the stream has started. Should be live here. I just need to get my guy into the meeting somehow. How can I make this tab bigger? I don't know. Let's get rid of these. That might help us. Okay. All right. Where are we? Okay. Charles, can you hear me? I see you put your hand up. Oh, your microphone. I don't hear your microphone. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the mic's not on. Yeah, I can't hear you. You said, you're saying your mic's not on. You can hear me, though, right? Let me know if you can hear me. And oh, you said hold on. Okay, got you. Okay. Okay. That's better. Oh, it says microphone blocked. Interesting. It says that you're still on mute. Let me check the settings. Press the space bar and see. Press the space bar and see if that unmutes you. Okay. Um. Okay. What we might have to do is just try to join another call, I guess, and see if it's just a glitch in here. Um. So let me just redo this and send you another link. All right. Let's try another link. All right. I'm gonna send it by email again. Hello, hello. Tell me if you can hear me, bro. says your Google Chrome mic is blocked. That is odd. Go in your settings and see the settings on this call. Click the, I think if you click the three dots, it might give you some options. We could either do this or we could go back to just sending you an invite. Oh, it says you have to download Chrome. Okay. Well, if you don't want to do that, I can just send you an invite back to like the original stream, and then we could do it like that instead. Yeah, here, I'm gonna send you the invite in here though, so that you can take it quickly. So take this invite and just go to the original stream because your mic usually works there, and then I'll just make sure the audio is playing from both. Hmm. Yeah, you can, once you join the other one, you can leave this one. All right. I might just let go of this altogether then. And just share from here. I wonder though, can he see it though? Nope. All right, I don't see him just yet. I don't know why it's been such a challenge to get this stuff rolling, man. So surely haven't seen him go in there yet. Mm. Okay. I'm gonna go back to that. Oh, I sent it via email. Certainly, I sent 2 emails this morning. Okay. Okay. Oh, I can hear you. Shoot, man. Yeah, that's facts. That's facts, bro. I feel you. Let me uh let me figure out how we can get this okay. All right. So hold on. Let me make sure I gotta reshare the proper screen real quick. Everybody good, man. They sleep right now, so but everybody is chilling, doing good. We got my son's birthday coming up um soon. So we're planning for that. How about you? How your kids, your wife?
No, everybody good. They sleep now. They don't wake up till later.
That's what's up. You see, you don't gotta work today.
Nah,
That's what's up.
I pick my own schedule.
Okay.
I be practicing on FTMO, right? So like I passed the challenge, but I accidentally went over the daily limit of loss. I wasn't paying attention, but I figured it out now. I figured out what I want to trade and what I'm good at because like the 50 cash. I don't know if you heard of the 50 cash.
What's that?
That's like SPY.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I be killing SPY like on a practice account, like with options.
Mm-hmm.
And all I be using is the fair value gaps, like the BISTs on the 1 minute.
There you go.
Because I know it has to go back and fill in that gap. Because I remember when ICT said, it has price has gaps, and it has to go back and be filled in.
Facts. So I mean, if you know what direction that you're trading in, then really that's all you need. I mean, that's the same thing, right? As what we're doing with the breakers. It's just looking at it a different way, you know. Because I'm sure they got breakers and stuff in there too. Sometimes you just probably ain't
Yeah.
seen them.
Because I found out with the breakers, like if you take the first three candles, you get the high, and then you get the low, then you get the higher high. The high would be the breaker, right? If it's a down close candle or up
So
close,
take me. Were you looking for a bearish breaker or a bullish breaker?
bearish breaker.
So the lowest down close candle. If you're looking for a bearish, you know what? Yeah, yeah, lowest down close candle. Do you want to share your screen and like you drive a little bit and we walk through it?
It's better if you do it because when you do it, it's easier.
Okay.
I can see because you're explaining it to me, then I can understand.
Okay. Let me see. So let me see. So I think I can hear both of us before we get started. I think I can hear both of us. Let me just check it one more time. Okay, cool. So I think we're good. Um, what we can do now then. So where you want to you said that you was looking through fair value gaps with SPY. What exactly do you want to work on today?
Oh, the breaker, yo, that's it. Just stay focused on the breaker.
Okay.
Because I understand fair value gap. I understand a valid order block. I understand um, the volume gap. You know, it's just the breaker, yo.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go to the S&P 500 ETF that we was looking at a while back,
Yeah.
and what I want you to begin to look at is how you can really just mixing in understanding your bias, which direction you're trying to trade in, um, mixing
When
that
we know the
in.
bias, right? We check the monthly, we check the weekly, the daily. We're looking for
Hmm.
like a green candle. So that's all right. So that's checking the bias, right?
Yeah, you're just going from higher time frames,
All right.
um, and sometimes it may not always be in the daily, but sometimes in the daily you will find a breaker. Um, Sometimes you will just find like volume imbalances. Uh, like you see, we got a pretty large volume imbalance up here.
Yeah.
So what I do on the higher time frames is number one, I just look for like some the value gaps in the volume imbalances. Honestly, if I can find a volume imbalance first, I would label that, and then I would try to see, you know, depending on what the seasonal tendencies are. Have you ever heard of seasonal tendencies?
Seasonal tendencies. Does it mean that like in this is it the season and what does it like normally do during the season? Like if it's like June or July.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if ICT shared this on YouTube, but there's seasonal tendencies for like the DXY that he uses to trade, pairs like, S&P 500, all the indexes. And the same thing with the foreign currency pairs, but then there's seasonal tendencies for those pairs too. So like you said, essentially it's like a chart that tells you what the DXY has typically done over the past 40 years or whatever. Um, and it allows you to it allows you to understand what might happen in price in general. Um, can you see my screen now? Okay. So I'm gonna just show you an example of what the chart looks like. Um, so there's a website called MRCI. Let me just type it up here. All right, I'll type it in the chat. Maybe I should make sure I have the right one first. It's called MRCI.com. Um, and this organization, ICT, kind of like has recommended to us that if we want to get the seasonal tendencies for indexes or for any sort of trading. So they've got an indices report. They've got Let me just share this tab real quick. Got an indices report. They have a um uh-oh, I'm not sharing this properly. There you go. Yeah, it tells you the seasonal tendencies. So I'm gonna send you a link to the indices report. Um, or I'll just send you a link to the page where you can look at all the reports. Um, because it's only $89. I don't get no money from it. ICT don't get no money from it. It's just something that if you're interested in, investing in understanding the seasonal tendencies, this is something that you can have that will basically make it easy for you to um, understand what should happen during each month of the year for each of the pairs that you trade. Let me send this to you in the chat. All right, I sent you the catalog, and then I'll send you the indices report. So when I say seasonal tendencies, these charts are what I'm referring to, and then I have some that ICT had allowed us to have via his mentorship that I basically just copied. So let's go back to that one. And so typically speaking, um, in the beginning of the year, January, February, March, price action is a little bit back and forth. Um, for the DXY specifically, it'll kind of be a little choppy. This is the DXY right here. Um, and you can see it's kind of far away, but you can see, January, February, March, and then after March, it typically between between April and May, it will typically take a dive, and then between May and July, it'll typically be bullish. So what does that mean for SPY pairs? Typically, that the DXY being bearish would be SPY pairs being bullish, and similar with the DXY being bullish, SPY pairs would be bearish. So in May, typically when price between May and July, typically when prices in the DXY is going up, that's when ICT talks about there's typically like a sell off, like a long period of selling between May and June, and then sometimes halfway into July. And then once you get on the other side of August, you're basically, you can see that price from basically July all the way until like November is kind of trending downwards. There will be, small spikes up, but for the most part, it's trending downwards. Um, and so that's one thing that you can plan for as you're starting to trade in the fall is looking at, okay, how can I one understand which direction price should be trading, right? And for if the DXY is trading downwards, that would mean that SPY and some of the pairs that you trade would be bullish, right? For the majority of the fall, like halfway through August, then September, October into November, should be focused mostly on bullish moves as long as price action matches that. Um, so if we go back to our charts, let's share this tab and then let's go back here. Share this tab properly. Give me 1 second. Got to share the Google Meet tab right here. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool, cool, cool. So
So the DXY is like I remember on one of your YouTube videos you saying like you don't use indicators, you only use the DXY.
I only use the DXY. Yep,
So you just check you check the DXY every morning before you trade, or you do
facts.
your okay.
I do that because exactly what you was about to say is I use it as an indicator, right? So I'm checking the DXY to see, okay, does my price action in the DXY, is it the opposite of what I'm looking at in all of my pairs, basically? So if I find, let's say I find, let's look into the DXY here. So we had like a run on liquidity. It wasn't necessarily a run on highs. It was more a run on these fair value gaps. Back in the beginning of June, right?
Yeah.
And I was trying to identify a breaker. So like I was saying, you might not be able to identify on the daily chart a breaker, but you will be able to identify if you go down, 4 hour, 2 hour. You may still be able to find one. And if you're not able to find one, what you can do is just look at market structure overall and say, okay, did we have a run on liquidity? Yes, we had a run on liquidity. Now you're looking for the fair value gaps that would support that, meaning like the fair value gap that I was looking at here on the 4 hour. If it's a 4 hour, yeah, I think it's 4 hour. This one to the left. Let me just highlight all of this real quick. I was looking at this
on
fair value. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
on the fair value gaps. Um, like say for like a BISI, right? It has the
Hmm.
same color on each side, the buy side and the sell side. That means that area has to be filled in with the opposite color, that gap.
Yes.
Now, if we have different colors, doesn't matter. Like say on the left, upper left, we have a candle, then we have the middle, and then we have the lower right. That'll be sell side imbalance. And if the top left is say red and the bottom left, the bottom right is green, and the middle candle is red, that area has to be filled with um the opposite candle color, right?
So when you're explaining it, you got to give me a visual. Like, is there an example on my screen, or is there an example that you're looking at?
If you have a full screen, well, your screen, well, all right.
Like, if I were to zoom into any area over here, is
Yeah,
there?
if you find a fair value gap, like you see that one right there where you just had your thing was all green.
Yeah, let's just zoom
All right.
into that. So like these, the left,
Yeah, that right. Yeah, that one has to be filled in white.
yeah. So meaning like on this side.
Yes,
And so when you say it has to be, what does that mean to you? Like you're saying once it's filled in, what does that mean to you?
it's filled in. Now you see the one that was filled in. You see how on the left and the right, like right with it's like the doji candle, the candle that's filled. You know you got the green on the left,
Yeah,
and you got the white on the right.
yeah.
The white on the right, if you look in the top left corner, and then you look in the bottom right corner,
Hmm.
that gap, that's a fair value gap. It has to be filled in green.
Eventually, yes.
Okay,
Now when it's filled in,
we
and
don't know.
yeah, we don't know. And that's the thing. If you look to the right, it was filled in by a green and a white candle.
Yes, I seen that. He said it has to be filled in a, a green, then a red. Well,
Yeah,
green and white.
yeah. However, yeah, I know yours are green and red. Yeah. So, um, so yeah, and then it's not always gonna be like, for example, how this one was green and this one was white, and it completely. He calls that rebalancing. Once it's filled in again, it's called rebalance.
Yes.
So it's now a balanced price range, these two. And so now when this trades back up into it, we think that it shouldn't have to go further than this area. And then you see after it trades back into it, it essentially runs off. So this would be
It
a
sh-
balance. Go
it
ahead.
shouldn't go. It shouldn't go further than what area?
Then the fair value gap. So you see how if you look at this fair value gap, it literally touches it perfectly.
Yeah.
And then it trades in the opposite direction. So this price action, this is on the 4 hour. This is a higher time frame. This, let's say that you're looking at price trading into it, on this day, you're anticipating that there could be some sort of either run on these, highs right here, but you know that you're hoping to see it, the bodies of these candles still close within the fair value gap. So even though the wicks may have been all the way up here or could have been all the way up here,
Hmm.
at the end of that 4 hour, if you get the bodies, both of the bodies of these candles to close within the fair value gap, then you know what's up. you know that there's a change, there's a potential shift in market structure, and then you're going to have to then go in and identify on the lower time frames if there's a market structure break, which this candle, I'm guessing, the fact that it broke the low of this previous bullish candle, you might see some sort of breaker or some sort of market structure like break identifying PD arrays that you could look into. Let's see if we have them. March 15th. So like doing this on the higher time frames is what I want you to focus on, because then you can identify your breakers once you see that there's a shift in market structure on the higher time frames though. So you're looking on the higher time frame to tell you, what's going on. Okay, here's the same area in price. So remember we had our balanced price range to the left. Price action traded up to fill in. So even though this is a balanced price range, this is still a sell side imbalance. So this sell side imbalance, like you said, it still has to be rebalanced, which is
Mm-hmm.
why this comes to rebalance it. It trades up into it and then trades away. So even though we have the balanced price range, the fact that this bearish candle, this bearish fair value gap, this SIBI, traded directly through this BC. Now the BC is balanced, and this price range overall is balanced. These two, but then you're still going to have to see and anticipate this SIBI being rebalanced, and it could be, well, the fact if you look down here, the fact that this one was already basically rebalanced, it was traded up into and then traded away. That's why you're probably not looking for this one. That's why you're probably paying attention to this one as price is trading up. Um, so just in general, now the fact that you've had price fill in this SIBI, you're trying to see, is it going to give you that downside movement? Is it going to give me the type of movement that would say that this is a market structure shift? And so I would typically look for a breaker of some sort. Now, I don't know if they're going to give me, I might have to go down to the 30-minute
Because I use the 1 minute time frame.
to do what?
I trade off of the 1 minute time frame
And so you tell me, why do you do that?
because I see the fair value gaps, the Cibi and the Bissy. And I know they got it. I know ICT said price has to be filled in, and he said the lower time frames are the best because when it creates that gap, orders have to be filled.
Okay, that's facts. Now, when you're trading the lower time frames like that, you still got to make sure that you are seeing the types of market structure shifts on the higher time frames give you that can say, okay, trade the lower time frames. Because if you going into the lower time frames directly before you go to the higher time frames, then you may, let's say for example, um, if I don't know if you've noticed this, but I learned this. I realized this, but I really learned it yesterday. Like it made sense to me yesterday that if you pay attention, if you traded before, I know you have. When in the beginning of the week, let's say if price is bearish, that week will start trading bullish at first, usually, right? Like it'll be trading the opposite way that the overall time frame suggests. And then after it hits some sort of PD array or after it runs out liquidity, then it'll start trading in the proper direction the rest of the week, right? So like the open, high, low, close, the where he talks about accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. Um, that happens with almost every candlestick. And so, I guess the point I was trying to make is that you may get price action that is on the lower time frames moving bullish for like a day, and then it'll turn bearish for the rest of the week. And so you want to make sure you're not getting caught up in thinking that it's still bullish. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So if you're using your higher time frames before you go to the 1 minute, then you'll have a better idea of exactly which direction you should be trading for that day. Even though you may be looking for a specific direction, you want to make sure that, depending on what time of week it is or what time of month it is, you know that there's going to be certain amount of trading, opposite of your objective at first before you get to the type of moves that you're looking for.
All right.
So with this price range, so remember we were talking about to the left it's a balanced price range. Now we have SIBI, price trades up into it. Now this is a breaker. High, low, higher high, lowest down close candle is the breaker. Do you see that?
Hmm.
Okay. And so basically all we did was we used the fair value gaps on the higher time frame. We saw that there was a run on liquidity or a run on or rebalancing of a SIBI, right? And then we went to the lower time frames and we said, okay, can we identify a breaker? And then if you're looking for a fair value gap, here's your fair value gap right here. Now,
Now for the breaker, right?
uh-huh.
It doesn't have to be flush inside the fair value gap. It just has to be a fair value gap present.
Yeah, the fair value gap could be up here, it could be down here. It just has to be in some way, near the breaker.
So so okay, so does it have to run through the fair value gap? Does the top have to run through the fair value gap or the bottom?
When you say the top of what? The
You see how you
breaker?
mark that line? Yeah, the top of the breaker. You see how you marked it?
Yeah.
Does it have to be inside? Does one of the lines have to be inside the fair value gap, or just has to be a fair value gap present?
I think for me, there's a lot of different examples of it. I think there just needs to be a fair value gap present. Now, the key in looking for it is just looking. That's why I usually try to wait and see if price is going to trade inside of that fair value gap. And so price will identify for you the fair value gap that it's going to use simply by trading into it and then trading away from it. Um, so for me, I try to look at the most significant fair value gap that's within, you know, at first I'm looking for the ones that if there's a fair value gap that basically matches this range. If I can find one that's like the same distance or the same length as the breaker, then that's usually the one that I'll pick. And then if I can't find one that's the same size as the breaker, then I'll just look for one either that's within the breaker next. So I'll be looking to see if there's just a fair value gap somewhere within this same area. And then the last way that I'll look for them is if let's say that there was a fair value gap that started above the breaker and went like to the middle of the breaker. Or let's say that there's a fair value gap kind of like this one where it starts almost in the middle of the breaker and then it like extends outside of the breaker. Like for me, I need some part of my fair value gap to be inside of the breaker, like some part of it. Um, and then like my last resort is looking for a fair value gap that's probably like below the breaker. So there have been situations where I'd be looking for a fair value gap and it won't be inside of the breaker. It might be below. And so if that's the case, then a lot of times I will really be more patient and look to see, um, what's going to happen with that one because sometimes it might trade past that fair value gap, but it might not trade past the whole breaker. So you just have to. It's going to be situational, but in some way you're just looking for a fair value gap near your breaker. somewhere near your breaker.
All right. So when you can you run by that? All right. So that breaker that you found on the higher time frame. Now you found why would it be that one instead of the white candle before it?
Okay,
Or because yeah.
so technically, if it's two consecutive or three consecutive candles, ICT says you can use both. So technically, I could have done it. I could have chose both of them and just used the entire range. Um, for me personally, sometimes I just decide that I want to use the lowest down close candle because I want to see if price is going to respect that area. If I can see, like, for example, how this looks, I chose the lowest down close candle. It kind of is almost the same as if I chose both.
Hmm.
But it's never going to be only the first candle. It's always going to be either the lowest down close candle alone, or you can choose the entire. Like if you got two or three candles consecutive, then you can choose all of them together. Um, but a lot of times, if I'm looking and I see that there's a significant size candle that's the lowest down close candle, like let's say this candle, like since this candle is basically the same size as both of them, then I'll just use this one because it's about the same. And if price trades up here and gets close to this high of the breaker, I don't want to be in it anyways. So it's almost like me like giving price less space to mess up, if that makes sense. Like
All right.
I'm looking and I'm like, well, if you're not gonna trade, if you're not gonna stay within this fair value gap or stay between, below the 50% of the breaker, then shoot, you might try to mess me up. So I ain't even gonna take no chances. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna wait until price might wick out and then come back down. Then I might get into a trade. I'm not gonna try to take the trade here, knowing that it's trading, with speed in the opposite the direction that I want.
All right. It makes sense. But we when we have that breaker, we do got to have a fair value gap present.
Yes, you do need a fair value. Yep. Now I say there's probably like 2 out of 10 times, like maybe 10%, 20% of the time that like you may not have, and it depends on the chart. Like with the pairs that you trade, there should always be a fair value gap with the breaker because the indices are a lot more. There's manipulation, but they're a lot better. They're more exact. Like they don't mess around with you know with the like the perfection of the candlesticks printing properly and hitting the fair value gaps. Whereas like a pair like GBP USD, that thing it'll it'll do some stuff that it don't look right, and then it'll go the direction that you thought it was going to go originally. Um, so I would just say yes. As a rule, if you don't have a fair value gap, then don't trade it because sometimes it may not have a fair value gap and it may still go the direction you want, but that may not be the best trade for you to take because that fair value gap gives you that extra, you know, confirmation that okay, I got an area that price is looking to rebalance. You know what I'm saying? It's that whole rebalancing thought process that we was talking about. You know that it has to come back into that fair value gap. So you're just waiting. You're just anticipating. And if you don't have a fair value gap, then you don't have you don't have a direction. You don't have not a direction, but you don't have like that key item that you need price to trade back into for you to get your entry. You know.
All right. So um, what will make it a breaker invalid and a fair value gap invalid?
So if the breaker is traded into 3 times, so right here you see that the breaker is formed, fair value gap is formed, price trades below both of them, price comes back into both the breaker area and the fair value gap area. This is the first time, right?
Hmm.
Now if we stretch this out a little bit, you get another touch to the breaker area, and I would count this as another approach to the fair value gap area. It doesn't touch the fair value gap, but it goes towards it, you know. So I would say this is the second approach or touch to both areas, fair value gap and breaker. Now, let's see if we can find an example of a third touch. Do, 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 do. I'm gonna go to the hour time frame. I think let's go to the
So
hour.
so you said the breaker is invalid if it's traded into three times or it touches three times.
Yeah, on that third time, I you would be best served not to try to take another trade in the same direction. So let's say like right here, let's say price
Hmm.
came down, did all this, but then it started trading all the way back up to this area. Like let's say it got into this area. Like I would be cautious to take a sell because prices already rebalanced this once, and then already prices come back up and respected this area that's already rebalanced, right? It's already a balanced price range. It doesn't need to be having price come back up into it because it's not coming to rebalance anything. So the fact that it's not coming to, make the market efficient, right? This is an inefficiency. The rebalancing makes the market efficient. You can have a touch again to that inefficient area, but the fact that price is coming up a third time, the question is, what is it doing? It ain't coming back up to make it efficient, to make the market whole again. It's coming back up to do something different, most likely. And that usually you'll see price trade past the breaker and the fair value gap, and it'll be going in the opposite direction. Um, there are times where price may trade into the fair value gap and the breaker a third time and still go the direction, like still go bearish. Um, like for example, it traded up and approached that same area, the breaker and the fair value gap. This would be a third time. It didn't go inside of it, right? It didn't go all the way inside of our area. So that would be something like if price just got up here and got, failed to get into this area and go higher, then as long as you see that price action, afterwards form another breaker and continue to the opposite direction, then you probably can, like, you have a new breaker, if that makes sense down here. Like you're gonna have a whole new breaker and a whole new market structure break and all that stuff down here. So this stuff will confirm itself rather than you trying to take a trade up here. You should just wait until you get all this confirmation, and then you
All
have a
right.
whole new breaker.
So that blue box, that blue box is the breaker, the blue line
This up here,
down.
oh yeah, the new breaker, yeah. So with this area, it was kind of hard for me to find a legitimate breaker. So I tried to choose an area that made sense to me. I think this is on a higher time frame. So let's go to the 4 hour. So this is an example of the breaker setup really is not really clear. Only because here's the high, here's the low, here's the higher high. Price trades down through it. This would be your fair value gap right here, right?
Hmm.
Let's zoom into this area. But price then goes and trades, and I think this is a different. I don't know what this is. I think this is a different fair value gap. Let's hide this real quick. Actually, let's just hide everything real quick. So this would have been your breaker, this lowest down close candle, and this is your fair value gap that's across from the breaker. But then price just basically just trades right past it. So at this point, you got to look and see what did price trade into. There's no fair value gap here, so I'm not worried so much about it being bullish because I know this is a market structure break. This was a clear structure. There was a breaker that price traded through. If I go back and put my stuff on the chart, um, this was a clear structure that was broken. But now that your fair value gap, you don't have one up here, you're probably gonna have to depend on the breaker to see is price gonna trade past the breaker. And the fact that it doesn't, it trades basically around the 50% area just above it. And then it begins to make lower highs from there. So this was it trying to trade up. Then from here you got lower high, lower high, lower high, and you got, more price action trading below lows, right? Then you get price action trade below here.
I got a question. On the
Yeah.
lower high, lower high, lower high, like lower high, lower high, does it have to be the same candles?
What do you mean by same candles?
Same color candles?
When you say like having like a green and a white, a green and a white, a green and a white,
Yeah, or it has to be green, green, green.
I would say you need both. You need to have, like, when I say a high, I'm speaking about the combination of the green and the white candles. So if you
All
need the
right.
green and the red candle, oh, here you go. So this would be one high for me,
Mhm.
and then another, like, even though this high is just a green candle, it still
Mhm.
has the yellow. I mean the white candle next to it. So I would count this as another high, and then same thing with that last one. But if
Oh.
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you want a green and a white. You don't want like a same color.
Yeah, but here's an example of the same color. And this is why I say you have to be fluid with it, because this green and green, that's still a high, right? So I count that too. This is a lower high than this, but then you still have the white candle that follows this, right? So
Mhm.
you kind of looking at all three right here in this case. You're looking at this entire little area right here.
So yeah. So for your lower highs, um, do you have a specific way you you go about it? You got like four lower highs or five lower highs or
So no, what I focus on is looking at, okay, is there a fair value gap that these lower highs are trading into? And boom, if you see here, there's a fair value gap right here that
Mhm.
these lower highs, the bodies of their candles, they're not trading past. Like this one, the bodies of the candles barely traded past it, but it's kind of right on par. It still trades down immediately. So this area to me, even though we don't have that proper fair value gap and breaker combination that's being respected, we just have the breaker that's being respected. That's when you start to look for, is there a fair value gap that price is trading up into that can key me in on what it's trying to do. And so you get price within this area three times, and this is the maximum, right? One trades into it, respects, trades down below the fair value gap, just barely right here, then comes back into it. It closes just there above. So
Mhm.
at this point, if we didn't have all this price action to the right, let's just say we're looking at this high right here, this third high,
Mhm.
or sorry, this third lower high. Um, I would be concerned. I would be thinking, just before this white candle formed, this looks super bullish because you got the fair value gap, you got the balanced price range, you got then this price trading down into this fair value gap. Then you got this trading down into this fair value gap. I would not be taking a sell here until I saw this full candle form, and then this next high basically trade into the fair value gap, and this would be the order block for this range, just this high to this low. Once you see that respected, that would be when I would say, okay, I'm okay to still look bearish. And then in general, you're looking for, you want to have both. So you got the fair value gap, but you also have this order block within this range, right? So this high to this low.
Mhm.
This highest up close candle is an order block just for this range, right?
Mhm.
And so it's being respected still. Um, so when you look for your breaker, you always want to look for that order block as well. And I'll show you for the breaker, actual breaker area, the order block is this one. But for this specific range, when I say range, I mean like the dealing range, this high to this low. This is the highest up close candle in this range. And you see that price is still respecting that area, not closing past the 50% area of, the halfway point of this order block range. So to me, that in combination with the fair value gap still being respected, even though it does get traded into three times is really the max. And as long as you're still seeing price action break to the downside, you have some confirmation, at least here in the DXY, that price is still bearish, even though, like I was saying, you're getting movement opposite. You're still bearish, although you're getting movement opposite. Price is still breaking structure to the downside. Then you see price break major structure to the downside again, and then all you're doing is you repeating that same process. So let's say we're looking over here now. Fair value gap is respected, and then this is the order block for this range, high to low. These three up close candles you could use for the order block range, since this aligns with the fair value gap here. So these three up close candles, the high to the low, you could use as your entire order block range, and then you want price not to trade past 50% of that order block range, and then you just want price to respect the fair value gap and not close past it, even if it trades past the 50%.
When you say close, you don't want the body to close in the 50%.
Right, the bodies, yeah, and even if the bodies close a little bit past the 50%, I just don't. I just want the fair value gap itself to remain respected. So I don't want the bodies of the candles to close up here for this fair value gap.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I want it just to stay within the fair value gap, and then I got to see price. Give me that market structure break, which you basically having a whole nother breaker that after this is price respects this fair value gap. You got the high, the low, the higher high. You have a volume imbalance and you have the fair value gap that then you see price respects and continues to break structure to the downside. So it's really that same. If you think about it, it's that same formula. Your higher time frame run on liquidity, which is all of this. Then you're looking for your breaker to form, your fair value gap to form. If the fair value gap's not respected, you look at, is the breaker still being respected? And then all you do is, as price continues to break structure, and when I say that, I mean like trade past lows. So these are some lows. Price trades past them. That makes us think we could be bearish. Price trades all the way up in here, but then it makes a few more lows. Price trades past them. So it's like the combination of all this stuff and respecting the fair value gaps, respecting the order blocks, right? That adds confidence to what you're doing and how you're looking at it. If you feel like you're still looking, bearish.
At what point do we know that like there's a reversal? Like at the like how well you technically really wouldn't know if there's gonna be a reversal unless like matter of fact you're right because it'll be like a higher like this the what's that called swing low. What
Hmm.
a swing low will start to form, right?
Yeah, basically the reversal should come after a run on liquidity to the sell side. So it'd be a sell side run on liquidity, which is why every time. So look, check this out. Every time that price breaks a low, what does it do afterwards? Like let's say after this price broke these lows, what did it do immediately after this?
it went down
Well, I'm saying just like
after it
right
broke the
here,
low.
like it broke these lows with this run, right? And then what
Hmm.
does it do afterwards with these green candles? It trades back up, right?
Yeah.
So every time that there's a low broken, like for example, here's a little bit of a low right here, price trades past and then trades back up. Here's a low, price trades past, but then trades back up. Here's a low, price trades past it, but then trades back up. Like that action, that action on a lower scale is like a, how can I say, it's like a intermediate term market structure shift. Like it's not the full market structure shift for the whole, like to change the higher time frame,
Yeah, I
but
seen
like,
I seen that before. He talking intermediate low and intermediate high.
well, that technically yes, but I'm not talking about that specific concept because that to me that is
Uh,
a little bit of a confusing concept to understand.
yeah,
Because the when that when he wrote that out, bro, I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna do that because that junk was very intricate. But in general, that is what I'm talking about. That there's an intermediate low, it's broken, and then for a short amount of time, you do have price trading up opposite of the trend. You know, so to go back to your question, how do I know when price is going to reverse? You should have a higher time frame run on liquidity. That's what you need. You need a higher time frame run on liquidity. So like for example, how price did this. Let's see. Let's go like to the daily. Like a market structure shift to me, you looking for a run on liquidity on the daily chart or the 4 hour, but mainly the daily. So how we lined all this stuff up here with the balanced price range and stuff. Then you see price basically trade below this major low. Like this was a low from earlier in the year, basically. And you had this low from the previous year that kind of was basically similar, like they're in the same area. So you could say these are relatively equal lows. Like that price trading past that right here, this little tick mark, that is a higher time frame run on liquidity. So from that, you should have like a probably like a 4 hour breaker or something like that that forms down here, which you have low key. It's very small.
yeah,
Like you got, yeah, it's not really. Let's see. Even if you don't have the full breaker form, you basically just looking for that run on liquidity. Because then if you
yeah.
see,
Your mic is doing that thing again. I guess your phone maybe did.
yeah, I don't know, bro. And my phone just be chilling. It's usually just chilling. So I don't know why. Tell me if it's evened out.
Yeah, you still sound like a robot.
Let's see. All right, all right. Tell me if it's still doing that.
It's still the same.
All right, hold on. So what's this? Turn my apps off and stuff. Oh, just have to. How about now?
It's still a little bit.
Hmm. I don't know what it is. My daughter's over here kicking the couch as she sleep.
Hmm.
Is it still sound the same?
Yeah, it's still good. It's good now.
That's good now. Okay, cool, cool.
Hmm.
So we was talking about a higher time frame run on liquidity. So like here is the little run on liquidity, and even though it's small, here we have a breaker. You have your low, your high from this area, low, high, lower low, highest up close candle. Or you could use this both of these candles because they're about. I mean, they're kind of similar.
Oh, can you? I kind of I had my head down for a second. Would you say the breaker? How did it start?
So this low, this high, this lower low, these two consecutive candles, and I use.
So it'll be that green, like kind of like a doji on the left, and
Mm-hmm.
then the high would be those two green consecutive candles,
Mm-hmm.
and then it'll be the low will be that white candle,
Basically, yeah.
and that's for the high low, the high low, and lower low. That'll be a bullish,
Yes, you got it.
and the bearish will be high low, lower low. So that's a
High, low, higher, high for
high low
bearish,
bearish. All right.
and this is a low, high, lower, low for bullish.
Okay, so those two green consecutive candles will be the breaker. The white candle would be so it'd be high, low, high, high, and that green candle right there would be the one that confirms it.
Yeah, this.
The big one.
Yeah, fair value gap.
All right, yeah.
Yep, exactly. And then if we were to put this on our chart, then you can see once we zoom back out to the higher time frames. Let's say we go back to the shoot, need that over here. Let's go back to the higher time frames. Oh, it took us way far out.
Bro, you know all of this, yo. You supposed to be up, yo.
Yo, it's coming. God willing, it's coming, bro.
Yes, you supposed to be up, yo. Like up. It, you supposed to be up. Like you supposed to be like yo, almost at a half a mil,
Half
bro.
a mil, bro. Look, I be telling myself, and look, God willing, I will be there. But that's what that's the next piece of this is the psychology, and I can tell you that
It
even
might be too much. You might be doing too much. Yo. Cause alone, bro,
no, you're
off
right,
the Sibbies and the Bissies,
you're right,
bro, on the 1 minute,
you're right.
bro, I cashed out on my account. I made like 6,000 on my paper account trading SPY and SPX just off of that alone.
You're 100% right, bro. That's why I told you if you locked in, it's not gonna take that long. And I'm gonna just say for an example of my life, it's always that it just takes me a little bit extra time because the thing is that little intricate details like being on time for the market. Like you gotta be here and you gotta see this form and then you gotta be on time to enter a trade within the fair value gaps. That's the real key. Like you just said, you made 6,000 using the fair value gaps, but you need to get the trades to enter in here. And my problem has been I'll
That's why I
enter
picked what I picked.
facts.
That's why I picked SPY because I like the market hours. I like 9:30. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's expire, and then I could use the 500 cash. So I know how to pick. You know what I mean? And I just wait for the setup on the 1 minute.
Yeah.
I just wait for the setup, and it just happens every time, yo. It happens every single time. Even when I back test it, it happens every single time. Because I remember ICT saying the lower time frames. That's why when the video he just put out, and some people I realized they not understanding when he was using a 15 second. When
Hmm.
price has gaps on a lower time frame, they have to be filled. Yo, that's the number one thing he says, and it seems like everybody ignores it. Everybody's trying to do this, that, and the third, doing too much. Yo, once he said that, it made sense. He said it has to be filled. Those orders have to be filled, and the lower time frames is the sweet spot.
That's it. So that's what I'm telling you. If you understand the overall, right, the higher time frame, then moving into the lower, it's easy because all you're looking for is a fair value gaps that fit the narrative that you're looking for. But so for you, it's good that you have a pair that the moves don't always they usually happen like you said after that 9:30. I don't know what ICT calls it, but there's something that happens every day at 9:30 that basically kind of gets the market running.
It always happens. It always happens. Yo, I'm trying to tell you, it always happens on the lower time frame. Yo, yo, he said that, and I just like, yo, he doesn't say it that much. He was like, yo, the lower time frames, when you have a gap, it has to be filled. It's gonna fill it. If your bias is right, it's gonna fill in on a lower time frame. On the higher time frames, it take too long for it to be filled.
Right.
But the lower time frame, it almost happens instantly.
Yeah, it's because on the higher time frames, it's got to be filled with that higher time frame candlestick, right? So it's going to take
Ex-
days, weeks, you know.
on the 1 minute, it's like it works. It works every single time. I back tested. I kept back testing it. Price always get sucked right back into that area for that order to be filled. That gap. Yes, yo, I be calling the plays, bro. Like my friend, and I'm like, yo, it happens every single time. Every single time. It has to be filled.
That's what's up, bro. That means you're closer than you think.
Yeah, it has to be filled. It's just when he said that, I was like, yo, I just don't understand. I don't know. Some people make it too complicated.
Yeah, I think that for me, I have done exactly that in the past. Whereas right now, all I need is the right bias and then the fair value gap to enter my trade. Within, I look for the breaker and I look for, certain other things that adds confirmation. But I have simplified down to find me a breaker, find me a fair value gap, enter in the fair value gap. The only issue is like for the pairs that I trade, a lot of times that may happen at 3 a.m. in the morning. You feel me? Or that may
What you
happen at
trade?
so I trade GBP USD, GBP JPY, and then even with US oil, sometimes you'll get, I mean, the majority of the time, it's probably like 50-50. You'll get trades, after the 8 a.m. And also depending on the news, you get all that manipulation and stuff. But so you know, with me, it's just that I've been needing to be in the market more often as far as like have a set schedule. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm trading the London session and then I'll take a nap, trade the New York session because I can see this happening and I can tell you all this stuff, hindsight, but
But bro,
I need to be
I don't
able to
mean to
see
cut
it.
you off.
Oh, go ahead.
But yo, it seems like yo, you already mastered one already, the DXY. If you mastered the DXY, why you don't trade the DXY?
Well, I only don't trade it because it don't always happen like this. It's easier for me to use the DXY and trade the pairs that it's correlated to because it'll look the same like this but more clear in GU. So then I have an easy setup in GU because I already know that this is what I'm looking at for DXY. I tried to trade the DXY, but it's very volatile as well, and it's just to me easier to find trades in a pair that it's related to because those setups usually show up easier. It's just me making sure I'm on time for the market. Because if I'm not on time, then I'll take a trade. In the past, I've taken a trade that isn't here. It'll be like here, and then you got price reversing on you. You're like, I just was trying to be greedy instead of saying, let's wait until another fair value gap forms. Now I can take this trade. You know what I'm saying? So it's just psychology for me. I think it's really just psychology.
Because for me, I found out how what I wanted to trade and what I'm good at trading, and it's SPY. It's like well on here it's like it's called the U.S. Cash 500. So
Okay.
they already have it on FTMO. So yo, that makes it more easier for me instead of like I mean I like currencies, but yo, that's too volatile for me.
Really?
Yeah, the forex is too volatile. It's like it just it's too much involved in it with the US 500 and like NAS and like US 30. Like those three pairs, yo, I could trade them all day long because I know they pertain to the stock market and it's easier for me. It's way easier for me. It doesn't matter how it moves. I can understand it better than trading like forex. I could trade forex. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like I know what to expect on the futures, y'all. Like I know what to expect. Like it's just I just trade SPY and SPX, and I used to hate SPY, yo. Now I love it. I just trade. That's all I trade is SPX and SPY, like the 500 cash. And I can and I'm gonna try this week. I know I could pass the challenges with those because I know how it moves.
Hmm.
And I know like what I'm looking for. I use the SPY chart to trade SPX because they move the same. The S5, the 500 cash, they have that on FTMO. Yo, I'm about to use that and only that because I looked at the currency pairs. I've traded them and I passed the count on them, but it's just like
It's too much.
yes, I don't need it. Like I know what I need. Like I know because I was sitting here thinking I was like, damn, they got the US 500 on FTMO. I was like, yo, I could just trade that.
I'm pretty sure they got it on every. If you look at like,
Yeah,
yeah, I think you should have some sort of CFD like that. It'll be called something different. It might be S&P 5 or you know what I'm saying, but pretty sure you'll have
yeah.
it on most funded accounts.
That's all I need. Yo, I'm trying to tell you that's all I need. Everything else, it's just like, yo, I really don't. I think you know what I'm saying. Once you some to me, it's just like you got to find what works for you and just stick with that because sometimes it could throw. And what used to happen to me, things used to throw me off. I see a person trade making money on that one,
Yeah,
and I see a person making that one, and I'm like, yo, lower. And then I start shifting. But once I stay like in my element, yo, it works every time for me. Like it just works every time for me, and that's on a practice account. And I'm not making mistakes because I'm I have the same feeling if I was trading with real money.
hmm,
I'm like, yo, I don't want to. I want to make my account. Like I'm up like 6 bands on a practice account
facts.
using the same exact way and trading the same way on the 1 minute. I check I have this thing I always have to track inside days and inside weeks because when you have an inside day and inside week, your chart is gonna be choppy, and
Hmm.
I don't like trading in anything choppy, yo. I'll wait for a setup, but I don't like to trade on anything choppy. And I notice when people be losing money, I be looking, I'm like, yo, it's an inside day, bro. It's indecisive,
Right.
so you're gonna have all that chop. And I realized, and I learned that from Rob Smith and the Black because they trade like the strat. I don't know if you heard of the strat.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, y'all learned how to trade the strat. And one thing it always used to say, yo, inside days, an actionable signal, you want to wait.
Mm.
It don't matter how long it take. If you have an inside week, you want to wait or you don't trade. Once you trade an inside week, that's where all your losses come from, and that's where all my losses come from. Trading when a candle is inside of another candle, yo. It always happens like that because the week affects the day, and the day affects the hours and the minutes, and
Facts.
it is accurate. Like I don't understand. Like that's why I be sitting there thinking, like, yo, it's it's common sense to this, but people acting like it's magic. The magic works when you don't have anything over your head that's gonna stop it from working.
Right. Yo, I'm about to I done learned something from you today because ICT he talks about what to do after the inside day and like what you're saying, I guess that makes sense because the inside day or inside week, you don't want to trade in there because it's gonna be indecisive.
You're gonna lose, bro. You're gonna lose. I learned that. Yo, that stuck with me for like 2 years. And what happens, and this is the stupid part about it, and this comes from the person who learns it. You're gonna think you can beat it. You can't beat it. You cannot beat it. Yo, you cannot beat it. Trust me, yo. You cannot beat the inside day, and you cannot beat the inside week. You know what I'm saying? You cannot beat it at all. If you let me tell you something. It's gonna teach you. It's gonna make you respect it. It's like the Matrix. If you ever watch the Matrix, when it comes out and they be hiding, that's the inside day. I'm trying to tell you, yo, you will not beat it. You will not beat it, yo. I'm trying to tell you. And I used to tell people this. They used to be like, I used to tell my homeboy this, and he kept blowing his FTM account. I said, bro, you know why you keep blowing your account? It's because it's an inside day. Man, I smoked my account because it's an inside day, bro. You gotta
Facts.
learn to wait. You gotta listen. If it's an inside day and you'll know, yo, you gotta just sometimes you gotta just wait for it to break a high or break a low.
Right.
That's it. Once it break a high and low, you got a direction. It could be bullish or
Oh,
bearish. It don't matter. You could trade. Yeah, it has to break a
that
high
was
or a
gonna be
low.
my next
If it don't break
question.
a high, yeah, if it don't break a high or a low, then you gotta wait. Sometimes you can get an inside week inside an inside week. That means those inside weeks affect days. And if the day is not inside, the inside week is still going to affect it because the week is indecisive. So the day is going to be indecisive, even if it's not inside. The
Mm.
logic behind it is real, yo. And That's the number one thing. Rob Smith, Strat Soldier, and Sarah the Strat, like they always said that you don't want to trade on an inside day or inside week. It doesn't matter if the hour's inside. Sometimes you can get smoked because the hour can be inside. Because when you see all this chop on your screen, I'm willing to bet if you go to the week, right, and look at if you check the week to see if it's if you click on your week, see
Yeah.
if it's an inside week.
Hold on 1 second. I was writing down what you were saying.
I'm dead serious, yo. That shit is for real, yo. It's
I
you
believe it.
can't beat it, bro. You cannot beat it. I don't care what anybody say. You can't beat it, bro. It's just it's that's when you don't trade. That's when ICT always says you don't wanna you can't trade every day. It's not gonna work every day because you don't know if
Right.
you're gonna wake up and like all right, take your lipstick off and I'm gonna show you.
All right. Hold on 1 second. Do 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 do. All right. So tell me what you're talking about. Hold on. You zoom in.
Okay.
You zoom into like
That
the most recent
so
one.
yeah, so the most recent one, right?
Uh huh.
Now, that's not an inside day, but let's go to
You want me to do the weekly or the daily?
now I'm looking at the weekly. So your weekly's not inside because it broke the high, it broke the low of the previous week. Now go to the daily.
All right.
Your daily is not an inside. It's not an inside. But you see this you see right there. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's like a green. All right, you see that? You see those the gray and the green?
This one.
Yes.
Yeah.
When it opened, right, it took out the low of the previous candle.
Hmm.
Once it takes out the low, then you can trade. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Yeah.
see no inside days on right here. You go back past the white big one, two, three, four. The white one right there. That's an inside day.
Oh wait, this one. Oh no
No,
no
no,
this
no,
one
no,
this
no,
one.
no, 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 no. It's not. It's not. It's not.
Oh,
It's not.
it did
I'm trying
trade
to
past the
find them.
low, but I know what you're talking about though.
Right here, right here. The white one. It's in
Oh,
between the cross. Oh, in the middle. You see the middle one right there
this
between
one.
the cross. That's an inside day.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, it is inside. That's true.
When it's inside, bro, you don't do nothing until if it don't break the high of that cross, the next day you gotta wait for it to break a low or break a high. Then you trade. You don't trade. You don't do nothing. Yo, let me tell you something. How real this is, and this is what I figured out, and it works 100%. You do not trade until it breaks it by a penny. It has to break it by a penny or 2 pennies or whatever. Do not think it's gonna break, right? And it's close to breaking, because you know what happened? It'll reverse. It'll smoke you out, yo. It'll fake you out.
Mm.
It'll go down like it's about to break, and you a penny away, and it won't even break it.
That's some bull crap, man. Because that has happened. That has happened. That has happened.
it you gotta just wait. Let me tell you something. That right, yo, you master that. Not to trade on inside days and inside weeks, yo, you'll never have a loss, bro. I'm trying to tell you, yo. I was telling my homeboy this, yo. I was like, yo, bro, my losses are like to a minimum. But
Hmm.
when I see an inside day, inside week, yo, I'll see because price the magnet, price is attracted to whatever the magnet is, high or low. If it's in the middle, oh hell no, I'm chilling.
Yeah.
I got a day off.
Typically,
It ain't
yeah.
that important. Ain't that important. And sometimes it can happen for 2 days or 3 days.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But you have to have a break of a high, a break of a low before you even trade. If you're trading in the middle, yo, you're gonna lose your money. You're not gonna know because soon as you get in, you think it's gonna go up, it's gonna go down. As soon as you get out, you think it's going down, it's gonna go up. It's gonna keep fucking with your head, yo.
Mm. That makes sense because that's what ICT talks about with when prices at like the 50% or the middle of a specific range. That's when you get like, especially in the forex pairs, like the seek and destroy. I don't know if you've seen that, like the seek and like where price just basically goes up one direction, takes liquidity, then goes the opposite direction. But basically,
Yeah.
it's yeah, you can't find trade. It's really hard to find trades. I mean, you got to be like ICT.
See, I see it right here. If you see this big green candle underneath the O of the open on your top screen, like 0101.
Oh
No,
snap!
no bag.
This
Yeah.
one.
You see that green candle? Look. You see the
Mm-hmm.
one to the right? That's the inside, and that's
Facts.
the inside. You gotta wait till it breaks to hop in. If you're trading in these 2 days, you're getting smoked.
Interesting.
Let me tell you something. You're gonna get smoked. I'm trying. That shit is 1,000 times accurate.
Let's
Because
go to the. Go ahead. I'm gonna just go to the lower time frames to see how that look.
that shit gonna look choppy.
Yeah, got to. That's March 16th, something like that. Yeah, March. There you go. That was it right there. That's interesting. That's where we was looking at the breaker, I think.
Look at all them wicks. Nah, bro. You can't
Yeah,
do nothing with those wicks.
this is
It's too
all.
much. Ain't no meat on the bone, yo. It's it. It's just not, it's all fake outs on you, yo. It's all fake outs. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's not.
Yeah,
Look,
that is.
that's right there. That's market makers at its best, yo.
Hmm. And to be honest, that is the majority of the reason probably why it was difficult last year for me to I mean I passed the 100K challenge, but I didn't pass the verification because I think it's just little details like this that, like, just for example, even when I passed the challenge, I had so much back and forth. I'd be up 5,000, I'd be down 2,000, then I'd be up. So
Yo,
understanding this to add to my tool bag
Yo,
is
that's the number one thing you gotta check every single morning. That
important.
if you have an inside day or if you have an inside week, yo, guess what? You gotta wait. You just mark the high of the previous day and the low of the previous day. Once it break, then you can trade. If you then you trade. That you don't trade when it's inside. You trade once it breaks the high of the low. That's it. There's no then you know what I'm saying? You got clean moves. Your moves are going to be more cleaner. But when it's inside, yo, you just got to keep waiting, set an alert. Yo, I do that. That's every time I wake up in the morning, I check the futures because the futures control the whole market. I check the futures. I check ES futures, NAS futures, and the Dow. I make sure all three are not inside days and inside weeks. If one of them are inside days, I don't trade because they run the same and it can affect the other two.
Mm.
Because what do you call those? The sisters? If what do you call them?
Oh, he called the Six Sisters. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, yo. I'm telling you. If once I find that, because like I learned a lot from a lot of traders, but yo, the old school ones, they always say if it's in the middle, no trade. yo, and this was from Tom Bugsby, and then it comes from ICT confronting and Rob Smith in the black. They don't trade inside days. They wait for the break. Once they
Facts.
catch the break of the inside, once the candle next to it breaks the inside, that's when you hop in with a stop.
Yeah, this that's what's up. So I'm gonna start paying attention to that.
You got to. Honestly, if you don't check that every morning, if you don't check the week and the day every morning, then and you're losing. That's gonna be your reason why.
Mm.
It's always gonna be your reason why. There's no other reason why you should be losing. It's almost impossible because you understand that. But if the dollar's inside, if the dollar DXY is indecisive candle on a daily, it's going to affect everything
Right.
that's going on with the pairs. And if
Right.
your pairs is, you know what I'm saying? If your pairs are inside, it's going to, you know what I'm saying? You're going to see it.
No, that's facts.
There's
Thinking
no way
about
around it, bro. There's no way
this.
around that. There's no way around. I don't care. Listen, you're going to, and I know, we all, you're going to think it could be, it's going to teach you a lesson. It's going to teach you a lesson.
Yeah.
It's going to, until you respect it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna pay attention to it.
Like
But hey,
that's my number one list. I get up in the morning, I check the futures, I check to see if they're inside days and inside weeks. If one of them is an inside day, it could be NAS. I wait, I mark the previous day high and previous low. Once I see it breaks, then I start trading.
mm, Okay.
Because that's the only thing that stops any trader from trading every day is inside days and inside weeks. Some people, they say, oh, it's inside on a 4 hour. That don't mean nothing. Your week affects your day affects everything underneath it. And you'll see your setups are gonna be so clean, your trading, your mental is gonna be clear, and your losses are gonna be to the most minimal. But once you don't check it, you can like, damn man, it's the inside day, yo. I done lost X, Y, and Z. Then you're gonna see why. Because
So
it's an addiction because you got some people have to get the addiction out of their mind, like, yo, I gotta trade every day, I gotta trade,
mhm.
yo, da, da. Nah, it doesn't work like that, bro. Because if you have an inside day or inside week, that's your day off. That's your day to clear your mental. That's your day to like look at charts and wait. The more you sit on your hands and practice that when it's inside there, the more successful your trading would be.
That makes sense.
I wake up happy, yo. Like, yo, if it's inside day, I gotta go. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. I just set an alarm. Once it breaks, I keep checking it. Once it breaks, then I start looking for setups. Then I start looking like, all right, now it's my time.
Yeah, I'm gonna start because I used to track the high and the low of the day, but I was just tracking it, not knowing what I was really tracking, if that makes sense. Like, this is better where I can look at, okay, if I just had an inside day, or if I just had a solid day. No, yeah, I guess if I had an inside day the previous day, then I'm looking for price, or even regardless, I'm just looking for price to break, you know, a
You
specific
have to, bro.
area, and that gives me
You-
more confirmation on my trade.
I put my hand to God, bro, and I'm dead serious. Put my hand on the Bible. That is the key. Yo, I don't know if you follow Wall Street's Trapper.
I don't, but I do follow him like on Instagram type of deal, so I
Okay,
pay attention to what he
he
says.
had a he had a $28,000 loss, right, one day.
Hmm.
Right? That's how I know I'm because I know if people are skilled or not. On that day, he lost that 28,000. That was an inside day.
Oh, he didn't know.
He ain't even know.
Mm. He didn't even know it. God dang.
Hold on. Yeah. Hold on for a second.
All right.
What? Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he lost that 30 bands, that was an inside day. The futures were inside. You monitor the
Mm.
futures to find out if they're inside days or inside weeks. If they clean, and you use the DXY and that's cleans, your whole setup is going to run fluently.
Mm. Yeah.
You
This
won't have
this
no chop.
this is I'm definitely gonna start paying because I think that's part of my issue has just been that I've had pieces of the puzzle and then tried to go execute, not understanding the full thing. And even if I just understand the time and the fair value gaps, I would be better off. But I always like stuff like this because then it just gives me another edge to add to my, you know what I mean, to
Bro,
my trading.
trust me. You check that every day. That'll be your number one check. Once you check it, you can lay back down.
That's
Why why
fact.
s- why stay up? You know what I'm saying? And if you see how far it is, you be like, oh, I'm laying back down. You can lay back down once you get a break. Yo, it works. So let me tell you something. Every person that I try to learn from, I take bits and pieces. And this is a
Hmm.
guy named Tom Bugsby. He's nice. Like he from Alabama. Yo, he's nice for real. Yo, he stresses that a lot. Rob Smith, he been in the game 30, 40 years. He stresses that a lot. Then when I heard ICT say it, I already know it's a downtrend. That's three confirmations. And I seen it from myself. Yo, it's accurate, bro. You can't do it. You can't.
Hmm.
You have to wait for a break of the high, a break of the low. You have to wait for the week to break the previous week's high, or wait for the week to break the previous week's low. When it's in the middle, yo, you, it's gonna make you a believer. Like it's gonna make you respect it because everybody is gonna think they can beat it. You cannot beat that part of the algorithm, yo. That's their time to eat. That's where you get. That's what separates you from a retail trader and um, what's it called? Industrial trader.
Yeah, I don't know. Professional. Oh, shoot, profitable. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah. It'll separate you because you're gonna be sitting there and they're gonna be like, damn man, I lost today. And you're gonna go looking like, damn, today was an inside day. They didn't know that.
Mm,
And then you're gonna see that they're more of an addiction trader than they
mm-hmm.
are of a smart trader. Once I got that out my system, I became more of a smarter trader. And my
Mm,
losses, bro, will be like 10, 15. My losses will be so low
right.
that it doesn't affect me. You know what I'm saying? But my losses at its highest, bro, you don't even know. Embarrassing. And then I look at myself in the mirror like, you know it was an inside day, bro. I'm serious. I go in a room, I really sit there and be looking. I'm like, you know, you just played
Right.
yourself.
Like, you know,
You
you
just
did that to yourself.
and you know you telling other people, but you know why would you do it? And I have
Right.
to now, even on a practice account, I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm waiting.
Facts. Got to practice that. That's and that I was gonna tell you this earlier, but if you can, so I wanted to ask you when do you plan on going for the live account? Because if you can duplicate the way that you the demeanor that you have doing your demo and just say, look, when I trade this live account, I'm gonna trade it like a demo in that I'm not worried about making money. I'm just focused on execution. Like
Like September, because
September,
the
okay,
yeah, yeah, no, not no, I'm this summer. Come on, I've been
yeah,
doing this for a while, and I've had losses, and I know the game now. So I know the summertime,
summertime got
everybody's
in.
going away. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? I'm
And
using the
yeah,
summertime to practice
there you go.
because I already know that um um August coming up. And another thing, this is another thing you need to write down.
Okay.
Jewish holidays.
When
Jewish holidays, you have to know all the Jewish holidays, yo. You
is
have
that
to know.
something I could Google?
Yeah, you have to know all it because when you have a Jewish holiday, the market drops.
Hmm.
So you know when everybody says, and this is what some people don't understand. This I know. You know, like on around September, everybody said you always get a bunch of funny news coming out,
Mm-hmm.
like September and October and August. That's because they don't want people to know that it's Jewish holidays. The Jews pull their money out of the market
Mm.
around September and October. And I learned this too from a guy that's Jewish. And he's a trade. He trades. And he said he was Jewish and he didn't even know that. But he told us that. He said on the Jewish holidays, you want to be mindful. If you find the Jewish holidays and then you go back and you check the days for the
Mm-hmm.
Jewish holidays, when the days they're not working, it's going to be red.
Now you talking about like indices specifically or
I'm talking
all?
about all. Because you know, Jews have a lot of money in the market. They pull their money from the market on the holidays, on their holiday. They pull it all.
Shit, I'm about to look up all these holidays then.
Yeah, you got to know all the Jewish holidays. And when you look at the Jewish holidays, and September has a lot of them, October, look at the market mind state from September to November. It's accurate.
Mm. Okay, I'm gonna
And
check it.
the first and 15th, you want to look at the mutual funds. Like mutual funds come out like probably on the first of each month. The market shoots up 500 points. Like, you know, the Dow just shot up like 600 points one day. And that's because the mutual funds, people get their mutual fund checks, they reinvest it back into the market. It
Mm.
causes a spark.
Okay, okay.
All of this stuff. One thing I got put onto, I learned how the market moves and what makes it moves. Like news, I don't pay attention to the news because the news is somebody just typing rumors. I don't pay attention to that. I just pay attention to the FMOC, the CPI. I pay
Right.
attention to those reports. That's it. Anything has to do, that's why I don't trade stocks because stocks are so weak to news. I stick to spies. You get some bad news, it doesn't matter. But there's in trading stocks, we have to pay attention to Apple.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have to pay attention to spies top 10. You know what I mean? We have to pay attention to, like, they top 10, like United Healthcare and stuff like that. But that's really kind of minor
Mm,
because the futures control the whole market. If the futures are up, the market is up. The futures is down, the market is down. If the futures is an inside day, inside week, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna have a lot of chop. But I don't, and I realized that when they say when I learned this strat, they was like, yo, we don't pay attention, we don't watch the news. And to find out why they don't watch the news, they want you to get a subscription. So I went and got the subscription, and that's when they spilled all the beans.
mm,
Why we don't pay attention to it? Because we pay attention to the futures. You know what I mean? They pay attention to the futures because they know the futures are the leaders of. It's like the brain.
mm,
Now, for currency, you have to find the brain. What is the brain? If it's the dollar of what you're trading, if that's the brain, um, then that's what you use.
mm.
You got to know the brain of what the currency is. That's why I said I didn't want to trade the currency because I don't know where the brain is at.
The brain
If I
is
knew
the
what,
DXY for the DXY correlated pairs, at least. For the other
oh,
pairs, you got to find.
the DXY and the BXY.
For GBP it would be the BXY, but since the DXY, well, actually, yeah, you could say
Yeah, you want
BXY
the
too.
brain. Once you have the brain, you know how the body's gonna work. If you
Right.
don't know the brain, if the brain is not working right, the body's not gonna work. So you'll know. So if the X and Y is down, guess what? You know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
the was a GPGPY is gonna be up.
Right.
And I did the research because I was like, yo, I was so determined, bro. I read everything and I try to find out. I ask myself the question, I go find the answer. The DXY is seasonal right now, so it's up right now.
Mm-hmm.
So all other currency pairs that's correlated with it is going to be down.
Facts.
So why would you want to trade? You're going to wait for the DXY to cool off. Once it's going to cool off, probably like what, August? I think it's supposed to cool off around August time.
Yeah, typically end of
Yeah.
August.
And another thing ICT said in one of his things, yo, I didn't I didn't listen to mad shit he had, yo, because I was like, that's how bad I wanted it. You always want to focus on the futures, like the currency futures. So the brain of your market that you're trading will be like 6E1, 6B, like the Euro FX futures, the British
Mm,
pound futures, the Australian dollar futures, the New Zealand dollar futures, the Swiss franc futures, the Canadian dollar futures, and the yen futures. You gotta watch those before you trade, bro. I'm trying to tell you. I mean, I know you do ICT, but I traded stocks, and I was like, "Yo, it's the same thing." So I had to know the brain of the market. I needed the brain of the market, yo, because if I don't know what the brain is doing, how I'm gonna trade, know what the body's gonna react to.
mm. I mean, that
So
makes
like
sense
it,
though.
yeah. So and it's on one of his lessons, yo. He was like, "Yo, you want to make sure you focus on the futures when you trade in like dollars." So the yen has futures,
Mm-hmm.
the Canadian has futures, Swiss France has futures, Zealand has futures. Australia has futures, British pound has futures, and the euro. If those are inside days and inside week, and you check in the DXY and the BXY, and if all those, everything has to be aligned. Once
Mm-hmm.
everything is aligned, you're gonna smoke it out. If you know Q Banks and you notice he don't trade all the time, they trade on a line. They want it aligned together. They want direction. When they have inside days and inside weeks, people is chilling.
That's facts, bro. I'm about to incorporate it for sure, slowly but
Once
surely.
Yeah, you need that because if you if you losing, you're gonna see why, bro. I guarantee you, once you follow those futures, the indice, the not the indice, the crypto futures, and you got the BXY and the DXY. Once you, bro, you don't have to do anything that has to do with uh um like market a chart. I mean, you probably gonna market anyway. You don't even have to do that. All you need to know if it's inside day or inside week, and then you'll know the direction.
It's added, bro. It's added.
Ugh,
I
I'm trying to,
appreciate it.
yeah, because that's why that's the reason why I didn't want to trade currency because it's so much I gotta look for There's so much I gotta watch with trading the cash. All I gotta look for is three things. The DXY could be up. I mean, it'll affect it a little bit, but it's not gonna affect it as much. The
Yeah, you
dollar's not
looking.
gonna affect it that much. It's not gonna affect it that much. It'll affect it a little, but it's not gonna affect it that much.
Yeah, you must are comparing the three rather than looking
Futures,
at the. Yeah.
because all of those I have to monitor. Like, okay, um, it's a puzzle, bro, that you just got to put together. You're smart. You'll put it together. Once you put the futures puzzle together to know like the correlations, what if this future's up, it's gonna affect that one. Once you master that little part right there, yo, I guarantee you, bro, you'll be up.
That's what's
Because
up.
I figured out that much, and I was like, in my mind, I was like, that's a lot I gotta pay attention to, and it's more I would have to learn. You know what I'm saying? But I do have that on my chart. I do have the futures of every currency pair, like the top seven pair I have: Euro USD, GPUSD, AUD USD, NZ USD, USD CHF, USD CAD, USD JPY, and I have their futures that match. So once those puzzles are put together, and it's kind of simple. Once you range that on your chart, yo, it's a no brainer, bro. I'm trying to tell you. And I figured that part out on my own just to say I needed to know the brains. I need to know how they're gonna react. It's the
Hmm.
same way like trading stocks. So I go to the stocks part. It's easier for me because I know the brain. I know I'm only following the Dow, the Nas, and SP. And if those are inside days and inside weeks, and if they're like aligned, once they're aligned, bro, that's 1,000 every trade. When ICT say you can't, it's the setups are not going to happen every day. It's because you don't know what you're going to get when you wake up to know if everything is aligned. Everything has to
Hmm.
be aligned. So if you get 4 or 5 days aligned and next week everything is like out of sync, all you have to do is wait. You don't have to get up every morning. You just have to wait. Once it's set up, you bro, you're gonna have some days you're gonna get 3 days. Some days you might get one day a week. Some one week you might not get nothing because it's not aligned.
Hmm.
And and if it's not aligned up, that's the week you're gonna lose. You'll never find this online, bro. You'll only find this from. I'm telling you, I'm keeping it real. You'll only find it from Rob Smith and the Black, Heat the Strat, and when he talks about inside days, ICT said it, and this guy named Tom Bugsy said it. He says when it's an inside day, he sit on my hands. And some people they never trade on Monday, they trade on Tuesday because they're waiting for the week to flip because
Right.
a new week is start. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you also got to take that into account too.
Yeah, I added that last year, not doing Mondays, and I don't even do Fridays no more, just or for Forex at least, just because it's really a wash. Tuesday through Thursday be the best, because like you said, it'll allow those inside days if they're gonna form. A lot of times it seems like they form on Mondays or even
Not yeah, but
Sunday into Monday.
but um see, you watch the futures. See, the thing is, once you pay attention to the futures, you already know how we opened up. Are we inside days on the futures? You be like, all right, nah. So then you can trade. It doesn't matter what because the currency is gonna follow. Listen, everything follows the futures. The futures don't follow nobody.
Hmm.
Nobody. The futures have nobody to answer to. Everything follows the futures. They're the leaders.
So I may need to start looking at because I do track. What do I track? US 100, but
No,
which ones
you
you
need the
saying?
forex futures.
The
You need the
Forex.
yeah,
Hmm,
the euro FX futures,
okay.
the British pound futures,
Hmm.
the Australian dollar futures, the New Zealand dollar futures,
Oh,
the the Swiss francs futures, the Canadian dollar futures,
that's a lot of futures, my guy.
and the Japanese yen futures. But the thing is, you know, when like they say when this currency is going up, this one's going down.
Hmm.
Once you get everything in sync, your flow is gonna be better. I didn't have time to put all that together because in my mind I'm like, I really don't want to trade currency. I'm gonna be honest. But what? I'm serious. Like I was like, I don't, because it's a lot I have to put together. So for a person that trade currents like forex, they need this. And ICT says it in his on his one of his whatchamacallits. You need this. You need to follow the futures. But he's not talking about it. Like and I don't understand why he don't talk about it. But I seen the video and I was like, boom, that's why I have him. And for me, only thing I gotta follow, all I gotta do is follow SP 500 cash, the 100 mini futures, and the Dow. That's only those three. And I follow the German futures, the DAX,
Yeah.
the mini DAX. I follow the mini DAX futures because the mini DAX, you know what I mean, whatever the Dow does, whatever the DAX does, the Dow will follow.
Mm.
So I have all, and the Naki, the what's this shit
Yeah, I know
called?
you talking the Japanese one.
Yeah, so those five futures, but my main three, I just look at the ES1, but I have those on my chart, on my screen.
Hmm.
I mean, I have the bond on there, but I really don't need it because all I'm looking for is setup. So because sometimes it could become too complicated, and I don't like anything complicated, so I make it less complicated. Um, if these futures are not aligned, or if they're like inside days or inside weeks, and I'm telling you, you're gonna know when they're inside days and inside weeks because it's just gonna be spilling out green, bro.
Mm.
It's gonna be going and going and going. It might pull back, and then it's gonna keep going back up, keep going back up, keep going back up, and then the next day it might be an inside day.
Mm.
That's the way the game works.
I'm gonna start paying attention to it, bro. I'm gonna start paying attention to it because I'm finally putting this stuff together like live on the charts. So just adding
That's
this
key,
little
bro.
bit, you know
That's
what I
key.
mean? It's gonna
That's key.
change. It's gonna make sure.
Nobody's gonna tell you this, bro. I'm trying to tell you, nobody's gonna tell you this. Nobody. Yo, you could look. You could look. You can go on YouTube. They're gonna talk about inside days, but they're not gonna tell you how to work the inside days. Only people who's gonna tell you is Rob Smith and the Black, Tom Bugsby. I see ICT just say, he don't really talk about it that much. Because if you get that one piece of information, you can have a 82 to 97% win rate just off that little piece of information, bro. It's a fact. I've seen it. And I tested people who, oh, I don't like the high number, I had lost today. Inside day, inside week. Does he know? In my mind, that tells me that he's a careless trader.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I could read them. That's why certain people I could read them. I'm like, well, today's an inside day. You lost? Damn, I didn't lose.
Right. That person didn't even know.
These new traders that be on Instagram, yo, and you could tell they don't be trading. They just be using like the ghost candles, and they be trying to. I know all the game they be trying to run on Instagram, and then they be like, yeah, this is what I do, but you don't see their wins. And I
Right.
took a loss today. You took a loss because it's an inside day.
Right.
You took a, and I don't use. They like, yo, I have a VWAP, my 9 EMA. That's trash. I tried that before. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Only thing
None of
that
that.
works. Only thing that works is what ICT is explaining. That's the only thing that works. And the strat. The strat works, but the strat is played like, how you got your high, your swing low and swing high. It's basically like that. Once it breaks the high, that's what they get in at. Once it breaks the low, they put a stop at the previous low and they let it run.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
That makes sense
That's
though, because then I
yeah.
mean, you structurally you have your stop set in places that it ain't gonna trade back past most likely.
Ex- ICT has that
Right.
on the swing low, swing high on the sniper edition. You know what I mean? You can play it
Yeah.
like that. He gives so many styles, but a lot of people feel like they think they could do everything he could do. So I thought the same way, but I was like, what's easier for me? Once I started learning about fair value guy, I was like, all I need is a fair value guy to break in the order block.
Yeah.
That's
That's
really
it.
all I need. And all I need is on a lower time frame because I already know to look at the day. If we have a green candle on the week, if we're green on the week, and I look where the previous days are, if the week now this is the thing that some people don't pay attention to. When you got the week and it's green, right?
Mm.
All you gotta do is mark the high and low of the week for the day to surpass. the week's high.
You talking about the previous week?
No, no. When you look at the
Uh,
week, right?
yeah.
You mark the high and the low, right?
Mm.
All you gotta do is wait for. All you gotta do what price will be attracted to. So once you
182,
mark the,
right?
once you mark the high and low of this green candle, right? Then you go down to the day, because this I learned. I learned this. This is how I know my targets at, and they hit accurately. So if you're gonna mark the high and low. I'm gonna show you something.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay. Matter of fact, um, this is the previous week. My bad. Here we go. Right here. We're gonna mark that. I mark, and then I go down to the daily. Right. This is my previous day. So this is gonna be my target here. Make that red. And I'm gonna go down to the 4 hour. Now these are gonna be the targets for next week. All right. Once SPY opens, right? SPY. This is what SPY closed. What's SPY closest to? SPY's closer to this.
To the low, yeah.
So it's gonna take out this low first, and it can come back up and take out this high.
Oh, you talking about when it opened?
Exactly. So when it opens,
Yeah.
price is
Let's
gonna
see.
go down here first, and then it's gonna come back up. What are the chances of price going from here to there?
Yeah, it's farther away.
Yeah. So we have pre-market. So and then the target will be to take out this high for the week, because the week is inside of a previous week.
Oh, that's the weekly high. Got you.
Yeah. This is the weekly high. This is the weekly low. And look at the week. The previous week is closer to this week is closer to taking out this.
Mm.
But now if we open up, we're gonna open up here. We're gonna take out this low, and what can happen? It could go take out the high, or it can just take out this low right here. So this would be a target. These are the two targets.
Mm.
And then we go to the daily. You see, what's the target? We're gonna open it. You see, if you see right here, it's 431.21. Look, it's gonna go boom, and then it can go boom, or it can go boom and go up. But what the chances are? The chances of it going here, a sell off, or if it wants to go down any further and take out that, or if it wants to come back down and take out the previous day high. But we're closer to taking out the previous day low instead of the previous day high.
Mm.
So if I look at a currency pair, I'd say USD, the week. I have all this shit marks. All right, I look at the week first. So this would be my targets for next week. All right, that's my week. So and price is right here. So price is closer to taking out this bottom than it would be going to the top.
Mm.
To confirm, I go to the daily. This is the previous day high, and this is the previous day low. What is price closer to taking out?
The low.
Exactly. So you already know when it opens up, it's gonna go down and then it's gonna come up. It'll go back to these targets. So these are the two targets right here. Once it come down to here, are we gonna? It can go down here, or it's gonna come back up and go up here. Bro, this shit works all the time. It's like magnets. Yo, when I learned this in the strat, it was easy. You know what I'm saying? But the only reason why I didn't play this, I don't like playing the strat, is because they want you to pay like an extra $1,000 to know the deeper secret. So
They
I
be
didn't want.
tripping with the cash.
Yeah, so they wanted. Nah. Yo, I seen a kid take a $6 account and make 4 bands
Mm.
live on Twitch. He did it live,
He
yo.
did that live, like a live account.
Yo, he did a live account.
People who have
First he
that
made
patience, that'd be.
first he made $31. He took that $31, went to 120. He took that 120, all from using the strat, all from using, because they're using formation. They be It's a lot of shit, bro, with the strap method,
Yeah,
but it works.
yeah, they do
They
their own stuff.
they yo, these old timers know about the algorithms. Like ICT, that's why I respect them. And Rob Smith, they know about these algorithms. I don't know if you're Oliver Velez. They've
Mm,
been doing this for 30 years. So they've been trading the algos for a long time. Like us, we're new to this.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you see how it works. So look, inside, look, check the inside week. Let's see. This is inside. Look, GPUSD. It's inside of this previous week. This
Mm-hmm.
whole week, everybody's been getting chopped. Look at AUD. It's not inside week. Well, it started, it opened inside, but it took out the low of the previous week. And what happened? It dumped.
Mm,
And you can see it on the daily. I'm telling you. And these are the futures right here. Like the futures of Euro FX. You don't want these to be inside weeks. Those are not inside weeks. You see how it is? They're not inside weeks. And when you got and it's another thing they told me, what's the day? Let me go to the week. You have red candle. If it's a red candle on the week, what you expect your day to be? What you expect it to open up is going to open red.
mm,
Bro, this shit gets deep, yo, on the strap. But they like use time frame continuity. If the week is red, the day is red, and the hour. Well, if the week is red, no, the month, the week, the day, and the hour. If they're red, that's your confirmation is going down.
mm. So they just look at that. They ain't even looking at. I mean, yeah, I
Nah,
guess they ain't looking at the
they,
price action, but
they don't need to. That's what they call price action.
oh,
And it's
interesting.
so if you got the week, if you got the month red, the week red, and the day is red, if price opens up underneath those three, if price doesn't open up above the month, the week, or the day, it's going down automatically. It can open up green, but it didn't open up. If price don't open above the month open, the week open, or the daily open, it's automatically going down, and that's 100% facts.
Mm,
I mean, why would you? Why would I buy? Why would I buy a green? Why would I go green? If you look. What's the month? The month is green, right?
mm,
So if this month is green, this week is red, this day is red. You don't trade it because price. Well, hold on, I'm gonna make it easy. I'm gonna show you some deep shit right here. JPY. Everybody loves to trade this one. All right, the month is green, right?
mm,
The week is green, right?
mm.
The day is green, right?
Oh shoot. Oh shoot.
So what you gonna do? You're gonna buy calls or you're gonna buy puts? I mean you're gonna buy for it to go up and go down. And let me
Mm,
tell you the secret that nobody looks at. You always gotta record your openings. 163, 746. Look at the open. 179, 322. Right?
mm,
Look at your day. 181 right here. 182. Now, if Monday doesn't open up above these, if it doesn't open up above uh 173, 179, or 182, so it has to open up above, price has to open up above the month, the week, the day for it to go higher. If it does, if price opens up lower than those three, it's a wrap. You understand?
yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So you see now, GPJPY is in an uptrend. Look, we all got all the first candles are green. You go to CAD JPY. Look, the month is green. The week is green. Look at the pre look, it's green. So guess what? When it opens, it's going up. Now let's look at your SD. Look at the month. The month is green. The week is red. The day is red. You don't trade it. You don't trade it. Same thing for this. You don't trade. You need action. It has to be a six. It has to be, look, month green, week red, day day red. But remember, this previous week was green. It was going up. But once you get a red week, it opens up a red week. You understand?
Mm-hmm. No, this makes sense to me.
Yeah. So when you go to trade, like whatever you trade, you could just check everything. It tells you, look, when's the DXY going down? The month is red. So we just started a new month. The week is red. The week is green. The day is green. So this what you need for DXY to go back up. You need this. You needed to break this right here. Once it breaks this target, 103 756, you can expect everything to go down that's correlated with it.
Mm.
Because the month, well, this right here, I guarantee you, if you mark these right here, the previous months, once the DXY breaks the previous month high or low, if it breaks the previous month high, it's gonna cause a domino effect on the week and the day, the hour, everything going down.
Mm.
And that's a fact, bro.
Yeah, bro. I'm gonna start paying attention to it because I'm hearing you say it and I'm in my brain adding it to my daily checklist just to be paying attention to, especially the opens because I already pay attention to the opens, but comparing them
They,
with the inside days and the
bro, all
previous
you need,
days and
if
whatnot.
you take down note, month, week, day, right? The previous day. When the market opens, the market has to open up higher than the day, the week, and the month to continue go higher. If it opens below the day, the week, and the month, it's gonna go lower. So your monthly open was 104, right? Your
Mm-hmm.
weekly open was 102.
Mm-hmm.
Your previous day was 102, 383. So if you look at this right here, the week opened up at 102, 299. Look what the day opened up at 102, 383. So all you needed to do to know if price was going to go up, if it opened above 102, 102, 299. Once price opens up above 102, 299, what that tell you? We're going higher. That means they want price to go higher. It's a fact, bro.
Mm.
Yo, off of this alone, bro, I made like 15K, bro. Off of this alone. You know what I'm saying? Off of this strategy alone, I made 15K. But you know how I lost 7K out of that 15K?
Doing the opposite of this.
No.
Oh, what happened?
Fuck inside days and inside weeks.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Looking at myself and guess how long, guess when it made me realize when I said, why am I losing? I'm getting the right entries. I started going back and saying, damn, man, it's a fucking inside day, it's an inside week. It made,
Oh
I didn't
shit.
learn my lesson there. I didn't learn my lesson there. It took me to lose another 3,500
Ooh.
to realize I can't beat it. It's not a game. I'm
Mm.
being stupid. Now I don't care what no. Even I'm so scared of it. Even on the practice account, I don't even do it,
That's good though. I mean, not to be scared, but just to know, like, you know when you should not do it and know when you should.
bro. You should be up. You know everything, bro. And that little jewel I just gave you, you pay attention to that, yo. You will know. You will know something that not many people know. And if those are the ones that do know, you know how to use it to your advantage.
Hmm. Yeah,
Because some
cause
people are not going to use it to their advantage, bro. They just it's a lot. 90% of the traders, and I see this, they're gamblers.
oh
They
for sure.
impatient. They have no patience, and the ones that are disciplined are the ones that are gonna make money. People like Nora trades, he's good, but I see he trades live. The days he trade, I see him trading on inside days and inside. But guess what he's doing? He's trading on the 1 minute, and he's trading break of highs or break of lows. That's his strategy. I'm telling you, he's trading break of highs and break of lows. He could put everything on his chart to throw people off, but he's trading the break of highs with a stop, with a huge amount of cash, and he's riding it for 50 cents. All he needs is to go 50 cents for him, and he's using like 200,000. Bro, he's gonna make 15, 16K.
Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. That's another thing I've been working on is just a simple targets. Not you don't have to get a whole bunch, but just knowing what direction, getting your entry right, and then just taking your bread. You know.
You place your stop above the previous day high, and as soon as it breaks, you could ride it, and you could be done.
That's interesting you say that because that's one thing I've been working on is getting my trades to the point where I'm taking them and can place my, like if I'm bearish, like can place my stop above the previous day's high, knowing that it ain't going back up there.
No, but you know what's gonna happen, and I figured out. You know when they say a liquidity grab,
Hmm.
you place your stop right where they place their stops at, and you get in as soon as it breaks.
Right.
Whatever money you make from that, you can sell instantly.
Facts. That's what ICT calls the turtle soup setup.
I didn't even know it was called that.
Well, yeah, that's what he calls it, but shoot, it really just a liquidity grab entry. I don't know why he called it turtle soup. I really don't
Be-
know.
because once it breaks the previous day, and you got to stop right there at that previous day high where you don't lose, but you gain. All you gotta do is know when to get out. I mean, greed is gonna teach you a lesson too. So if you make a couple $100, boom, I would take that.
Hmm.
I'm telling you, bro, I'm about to make 100K off that
Listen, bro,
FTMO challenge.
I believe you, bro. Listen, and I need you. I need you. That would make me so happy, bro. If you this fall, everything you telling me, bro, like really just execute it how you telling me you can, and get your money, man, because that would make me so happy. And I'm gonna do the same thing. I got my stuff set up to how I'm gonna do it because I'm gonna be
Bro, we
going.
gonna do
You know
this.
what I
This shit
mean?
is easy.
We're gonna get it done, bro. It's nothing that can stop us, and we got God. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Protecting the way as well. So gonna make sure we give Him the glory when we execute properly.
I'm getting 100K, yo.
Get
Then
right
I'm gonna
on
take
it,
the
bro.
100K. I'm gonna take
Get
the
you another
100K.
100K.
Keep going because I know what I need to know now. The thing was, and this what threw me off, is because sometimes looking at other traders and what they're doing,
Yeah,
they're not telling you what they're doing. Because 99% of people that trade is using something from ICT.
think so.
Of course, I know for a fact, bro. They're not gonna tell you because they got customers. They getting that weekly
They
check.
be capping, boy. I know.
Yeah, a lot of them get a lot of them get a lot from ICT.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I'm always say it though. Folks like, oh, how you? No, yeah, ICT. Like that's the reason. He's the reason why I didn't quit. If I hadn't found, if God didn't give me, because I really do believe that God sent me an ICT video, because I was really like about to just be like, yeah, you know what, man. And then I had a previous business partner who sent me a video. We was doing supporting resistance and stuff. He sent me this video. I didn't even look at it for like 2 months. Then looked at it December of 2020. And when I watched the video, then I watched like one of ICT's other videos where he's just talking about his journey. I was like, okay, how do I get the mentorship? And I got the mentorship, and I was like, yeah, I'm about to be. I don't know how long it's gonna take me, but God willing,
Bro, we work
I'm gonna be
together,
good.
bro. I'm trying to tell you, yo. I'm telling you, yo. I'm trying to tell you. I got mad info that works, and it's for a fact. But the thing was, I keep everything less complicated.
Hmm.
I have to keep everything less complicated. But I do follow that every single day. I do follow that inside day. Religiously, that's oxygen for me, bro. That's
No,
oxygen for me. That's for me not to lose.
it really makes sense, and I understood the inside days, but I just wasn't paying attention to. I wasn't paying attention to the inability to trade during the inside days. And
You
then
can't, bro.
now I'm looking at it like if I have an inside day the day before, I'm knowing what's about to come. You know,
Check all your losses. Check all your
I'm
losses.
gonna
Like,
have to go
damn.
back. I'm gonna have to go back through it.
And then you look at the day you lost. You're like, yo. And let me tell you something. This is how real it is. You can do everything right. And you could do everything right. Everything you could do is right. Everything is right. But if you got an inside day, bro, inside week, it's not gonna work.
Mm,
It's not gonna work. It's gonna beat you. It's the matrix, bro. It's not gonna beat you,
it's,
but it's not gonna work. it's, it's
it makes
not.
sense.
And you're not gonna know because it can discourage you. It can be like, yo, damn man.
Hmm.
But it's not your fault. It's just the fact is that it's some things that it's that's their time to eat. Them inside days break retail traders,
Hmm.
industry traders, and people who don't know.
Right.
So you're supposed to let it eat, get what it's getting, and leave it alone.
Facts. Oh, what's up, bro? I'm already knowing, bro. I'm confident, and I'm just make sure I'm executing properly. And then I want you to do the same. I want you to execute like as you continue to practice, build that confidence. And this fall, man, it's up. It's no excuses. It's 100% taking what the market is giving you and getting them accounts, bro. Starting to get them accounts up.
I'm getting it up, bro. I'm practicing like this right here. This this is all I need, yo. This is you see this what I'm trying to tell you the fair value well in 1 minute,
Hmm.
bro. This shit works like it's crazy. It's crazy. I already know this gonna have to be filled. Like say if this right here,
Hmm.
it's gonna come up in the air. It's gonna fill, yo. It's well not now because that's a little late. Like say if I mark this one, it's gonna come back. You see how it fills it?
Hmm.
You see that this biscuit right here? It fills it.
Right, and then continues up.
Exactly. Exactly, yo. I'm trying to tell you, yo, these shits is all I be needing sometimes because I already know. It's the fact is that you're gonna get all of this, but if you know it's gonna return, all you gotta do is wait.
Mm.
I'll wait. I'm type that'll wait, yo. I'm trying to tell you, I had the patience to wait.
And you gonna go far, bro. I believe that because you already. That's the thing about you. You're already there. Like you already know. It's just putting the stuff together with the ICT stuff with what you already know.
Yeah, I
And
needed that ICT, yo. I needed that, yo.
yeah.
Because everybody that's making money, bro, I'm telling you, I know this for a fact. I don't think there's not one person out there they using ICT shit, yo. I'm trying to tell you, bro. They know that they and no everybody knows indicators don't work. Everybody knows EMAs, they
Hmm.
put that on their chart just to
Oh.
throw them off, bro. And I'm telling you, there's no way, bro. There's no way. Some people master the propulsion candle. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But they know every trader is using ITT method to trade. It's no, bro. I'm convinced now because this is the only one that works.
Hmm. Yeah, I believe that too because I've done it all. Oh, but
Yeah,
besides supply and demand, I think supply and demand has some, but it's just ICT stuff at the base, like
your
you
supply
said.
and demand is just
You know.
it's something that ICT shit is accurate, bro.
Hmm. You gotta
It's
tell me
accurate.
twice, bro. You don't gotta
Yeah,
tell
it's
me twice.
accurate. I'm a believer.
For sure. Me too.
The strat works. Don't get me wrong. The strat works, but the thing with the strat, it's so secretive that you got to pay that extra bread. And
Hmm.
those who know it is not gonna tell you.
Yeah, they stuff is
They
kind of specific with the day, the month, week, day. Like,
you see what I showed you, right?
yeah, it's a
They
lot.
they know they know it's going up though. But if you got that month, week, and day and it's green, you already know what's happening.
Yeah, to
And
each
how
his own.
how many setups you gonna find like that? You know what I mean? What are your odds of finding
Well, that's
setups
what I'm
like that?
saying. Yeah,
You
it's not as many.
this
But
this right here, this is the strat list. These are the only stocks they trade. Like on this list right here, these are the only ones they trade. You go to AMD, right? You look at the month. They know what they know the month is. Let me see. They know the month is red.
Yeah, this
They know the
probably.
week is red. They know the day is red. So guess what happened? Look, it's like clockwork, bro. Shit's like clockwork for them. They know how to trade this shit, yo. And
That's
know
that's
what I be
impressive.
peeping that they not telling us?
What?
They trade they use ICT too, and
Oh,
ICT uses some of their stuff. You see the vacuum block,
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then they got fair value gaps.
Oh,
That's
they
included too. But
oh
they
they
not
talk about that
telling.
stuff.
They know they don't tell you that.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
They don't tell you that because when they be hitting it accurate, I be like, yo, how would they know? Then I said, hold on, let me check see
yeah.
if it
Yeah,
has a.
see,
You understand what I'm saying?
exactly. See, and that's why I say ICT stuff. Even though like the month week day stuff probably is accurate, you can get that same entry higher or before just using ICT stuff if you
Why
have
he said,
time.
look at his bias. How we know that? How you know your weekly bias or your month your bias? But you checking the week, the month, the day, and the week.
Well, that's true. That's true.
But he's saying it in different terms.
Right.
I'm telling you, everybody's trading the same, but it's the deepest secrets that they're not giving.
hmm
ICT is giving, but his vocabulary has everybody
Yeah,
already thrown off.
it's hiding everything, and he teaches so much that it's kind of like that in itself confuses people enough that they don't really know. If you're not paying attention, you ain't really gonna, you know. People be giving up. People give up too easy with his stuff. Just gotta stay locked in, cause he really does give the gem. He had just did a 5 hour video, bro. I'm like, bro, this man teaching all the sauce for the freebie.
You see right here, right on this day, this is a vacuum. Well, what's it called? Vacuum block, right?
hmm
So this has to be filled, right? This right here has to be filled, right?
Mm.
No, was it filled or no? It has to be filled.
I don't. Is that a vacuum block or is that a volume imbalance? I thought that was a volume imbalance. I don't know. I don't. I'm not familiar with the vacuum block term. Although I know it's a concept of his. I don't know if I have
Yeah,
any
volume.
videos.
Sorry, volume imbalance right here. This has to be filled with the candle, right?
Yes, that does.
Okay, so now we know that, like you know that, and I've learned that, right?
Mm,
Now, in the future, that can't be left open. That has to be filled, right?
mm,
So I'm trying to tell you, yo, that everybody using the same shit, yo. It's just they're not gonna tell you, bro. They're not gonna tell you. I don't know. I guess it's just, I don't know why, but
I don't know either, bro.
they monthly subscribers, yo.
Yeah, they
They
gotta get
monthly
their cash.
haters, yo. Like haters.
Oh,
So
that's
like right here,
crazy.
you see right here, the volume was it volume imbalance or volume block?
Yeah,
These two. That'd be a volume block or what's the volume imbalance?
volume imbalance. I think. Yeah.
You see how it was filled? Boom.
hmm
Now on the strat, they be looking like, oh, okay, it's green on the month, it's red on the week. They're not gonna tell you, but look what happened on the day. There's a volume imbalance. They're
right.
not gonna tell you, boom.
That's it.
Yeah, bro. I
It's
appreciate you, man. I might took up too much of your time, but
Nah,
yo,
you good, bro. I be listening, bro. That's one thing about me. I ain't never gonna be too prideful to learn something from somebody, even if I'm technically supposed to be teaching you, bro. We teaching each other. You feel me? Like we
yeah.
always gonna learn, so it don't matter to me.
See how I already marked my chart, right, for Tesla, but I don't trade stocks, but I know this has to be filled. I know this has to be filled. So
hmm Yeah,
I could buy a 192 contract for like a dollar, right? And I could buy it and hold on to it until December. It's gonna fail. Tesla is known to drop 100 points and
yeah,
then go back up.
that's true. Yeah, bro. No, it's only a matter of time, bro. That's all I always say. It's only a matter of time until we you feel me? So I'm already knowing. Yo, let me get right because my wife about to wake up. My kids about to wake up.
All right.
Let me jump out of
Uh,
here.
I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Let me know when the next one is.
Yeah, we so it's gonna be next week. So let's just plan. Let's just try to do another Saturday. This
Saturday.
yeah, let's just do Saturday. If you're not working, we can just do same time next Saturday.
All right.
All right. And
All
then
right.
next Saturday, that's gonna be the first of the month. So then, if you want to continue, then you just have to send the 50 again next Saturday.
All right.
All right, that's cool.
All right. No problem.
All right, bro. Well,
All
send
right.
me the homework this week when
All right. I'm
I'll
definitely
report.
going to. All right.
All right, bro. Y'all be safe, man.
You too, bro. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right, peace. Where's the YouTube? Oof, got to pee so bad.